there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. Road Ramble number 13. Stop tripping about looks. And you know what? And that's a big ass thing that a lot of dudes are worried about. They feel like they don't look good enough for the women. That's why they being rejected and shit, right? You know? And I think part of that is that whole incel bullshit, right? But I'll get into that in a second. Yeah, it's shots motherfucking fired. Look, I'm gonna tell a story. I remember before I was married, right? There was this woman and stuff, man. She knew what I looked like. Kind of met over the phone, old-fashioned way and shit, right? And she knew what I looked like, my picture, and she said, in her eyes, I was all that. And in fact, there was a social group of sisters, the minimum of which was a 5, right? Who they had like some little small party or something, man. You know, as an aside, man, y'all motherfuckers need to party more. I'm gonna do that in the next video, right? Anyway, right? The minimum was a 5. It was a group of them, right? Now, I got some feedback from some people who have been there, right? So, you know, the one girl, damn, we got some fat motherfuckers at the gym. PHAT. Anyway, this is a ramble, so, and Rom gets distracted like a dog gets distracted by squirrels. Yeah, that's why I had to change gyms. Anyway, right? Check it out. It got back to me that some of the women agreed. I say about half, roughly half agreed. Yeah, I was all that to them, right? Because when I was at this little party and this thing, man, you know, Ron was dressed up and shit. You know, had his fresh haircut. You know, being Ron, and I was considerably like lighter. And half of them thought I was all that. The other half were like, eh. And that might have been the nice way of saying it. They were like, it got back to me, like, specifically. I got good feedback on it, right? So you had half the women thought I looked good, the other half didn't, right? The issue with looks is everybody ain't gonna like your look. See, there's gonna be some people who think you look good, some people you don't. Because here's the deal with it. What goes into looks, a lot of stuff goes into whether somebody looks good to another person. You know, some of it is the imprint. You know, if some, you know, short, toothless motherfucker with a big ass dick turned, like with a gut and a big ass dick turned out a woman, well, guess what she gonna think look good? She gonna look for that again, right? Or a slim dude. So that has to do with the imprint. It has to do with how the men in their family look. I guarantee you look at any woman and try to get an idea of what she like in a man, and a lot of it is going to be based on what the men in her family look like. You know, there's the imprint, also the culture. You know, what's the culture like? What do the dudes in the neighborhood look like? Because a lot of stuff impacted, you know. You like the race, ethnicity, all of that stuff. It's a lot of factors that go into it. So every woman is going to have a different idea of what looks good to them, right? So contrary to popular belief, there is no universal thing. I know people use that whole golden mean thing, but that's some Eurocentric bullshit, you know? Because if you look at, like, who are held up as beautiful? Models. But a lot of models who are held up as beautiful, really, if you look at them, they kind of average. They just got, like, really decent bone structure, but then they got a lot of makeup. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of tricks and stuff, right? And then it still come down to taste, right? And I was going to say something about that incel thing, because you got a lot of these incels, you know, they thinking, like, you got to look like a white supermodel, male supermodel to get women. Right, because I saw something done by one of them on some website, and they were like, yeah, these guys got harems and shit. One, you'd be hard pressed to find anything on the internet that have women going crazy over these guys. That's the funniest thing. You don't hardly see any women like saying, oh yeah, that fashion model looks great. You know, the same guys they held up. A lot of times what's happening is men hold something else up as looking good. And see, the part of the problem with that is just low self-esteem, man. You don't know who holds them up as good. Like using the model example. I don't see anything where women, I'm saying women are saying, oh yeah, these are great. And they doing all that. It's usually guys holding them up. Which is some like little homoerotic shit, really. Because it cracks me up, because another thing these guys do, they up there try to judge other men's looks. A man can't judge another man because he ain't gonna see it the way a woman see it. See, that's another thing too. A man cannot look at another man and judge what's good. He can't even look at himself. Because of what a woman like, you never know what it is on you. I'm gonna tell you what with me. One of the main things women compliment on me is my eyes. Like, I've had total strangers say they like my eyes. It's like my eyelashes, sometimes the color and everything. Oh, damn. Man, we got fucked up. Man, we got so many deer around here and shit. They need to be paying, like, rent. They need to be paying taxes and whatnot. They need to be voting in their local elections and shit. It's a good thing they got licenses and shit. I know that's a tangent, man, but where I live, man, you see so many deer. You see a family of deer crossing the street with you and shit. You be waiting at the light. They be waiting too. But anyway, right? Too many dudes get caught up in thinking something else look good, right? Or they gotta reach that ideal because they feel like that's the motherfucker getting all the pussy and shit. And I'm like, you don't know that. And first of all, you don't know that unless you in the room with them. And then they'll say something like, well, the beautiful women like them. You don't even know, because I've seen a lot of women, if a dude look too good, like how some of these male models, some people held up, sometimes they don't like that. I'm going to tell you my favorite rejection in life. It was my favorite because I just had to laugh about it. I wasn't even mad about it. Me and the woman cool. If I see her today, hugging and kissing and shit, man. She was cool people. But she told me straight up she couldn't fuck me. And the reason she said she couldn't fuck me is she said I was too pretty. Because she said she was like my eyes. She was talking about my eyes and my skin and shit, right? And she like rough men. And you get some women like that. See, one thing, man, it's not even so much your bone structure either, but it's your look. Women go for the look. And it's not always like what everybody else go for. Because I know this woman, one of the baddest women I ever met. Like, she could put a man, I've seen her put a man in a trance. One dude wrote a poem after he saw her. I mean, she was pretty and she had a killer ass body. Shoot. If she had that, if that was in her personality just to like get money out of people, she get it easy. Dude would just hand her the wallet. The dude she bust out 8 babies for, in her own words, was ugly. And she even said it. She even said, I know he ugly, but you know, he does all of this. And he was a blue collar cat. But she ain't just have 8 babies. They were like a staircase and shit. I was like, God damn. But if you saw this woman, you realize like your pullout game would be weak. But she liked ugly motherfuckers. You know? You can't trip off of that. Like, don't trip off your own shit, man. You don't know. See, my bottom line is you don't know. And I don't even really trip over it. I get some people who be like, eh. And I've even seen that on, because y'all know me, I got shit all over the internet, right? I seen one thread, it was on Lipstick Alley and shit. That shit was funny. And one woman, couple women on the thread, right? It was one of those articles I wrote. One woman on the thread, right, was like, he looked like an emoji. I was like, damn. Oh, that shit was funny as hell to me, right? And a couple of women, they were like, oh, he looked great. It depends. Shit, I've seen that on YouTube. I've seen sexy as fuck, handsome, look good daddy. Other women like, ew. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. You just worry like, look, as a man, you really don't worry about your looks, man, because everybody ain't gonna like it. Everybody ain't gonna like it. So what do? You just maximize what you got. You keep your hair cut straight, beard straight, shit. Brush your teeth, wash your goddamn face, man, and don't worry about it. If a woman ain't feeling you for whatever reason, then you know not to fuck with her. It's just that simple. You know not to fuck with her. It was just like, oh, this woman ain't feeling me. Boom. All right, let me go over to the ones. First of all, spend your time with the ones who like you, who think you look good. Because trust me, whatever you want to do with them, whether you want to be in a relationship or you just want to have sex with them, it works a lot easier. Seriously, man. Everybody think, I get too many dudes. They'll say some women don't like them or this or that, or it's the women they want. Shoot. I'm going to tell you what, and especially, sometimes dudes will say, well, only the ugly ones like me, or the whales. No, that's the ones you're paying attention to. I've talked to a lot of very beautiful women in my life. I've talked to a whole lot of them. People be surprised what they find attractive. Because one thing about very attractive women, for whatever reason, they ain't as tripping over your looks. They more worried about how you treat them. Seriously. When you get those, the women who usually worry about, I ain't did some shit. Motherfucking trash truck came in my way. Good thing I ain't in a hurry. Shit. Anyway, one of the things with a lot of beautiful women, and this is an insight y'all need to take. A lot of guys don't get this shit. They don't trip over your looks as much. As a very beautiful woman told me one time, I've mentioned this story before. She said if we had kids, her looks could carry us. I was like, okay, yeah, they could. She was one of those few roll out of bed fine women, right? One of those few, like, had an unusual look. Like, she was tall, light complexion, light eyes and shit, and would run 5 miles a day, so her body was like pow. Make a brother cry. But she actually said they won't be tripping over it as much. It'll be those, like, honestly, the women who trip over your looks the most are actually the fives. Like the fours, the fives, those lower ones. Ironically. Like, the uglier a woman is, the more she gonna trip over your looks. But you get those, like, 9s and 10s and shit, man. As long as you decent look, as long as you presentable with them, they good. Because they don't expect you to look better than them. Because if they did, as a practical measure, they'd be in trouble. So they wanted it. Plus, they with a guy who's less attractive. This player told me. I even said it in Nice Guys and Players. A beautiful woman will always... this dude told me this. He said, a beautiful woman always like you because you don't look better than her. I was like, cool. Because you don't need to. People got all this bullshit. See, one of the problems with it, though, guys think women choose men the same way. Like, we'll choose a woman just because she look good. She ain't bringing nothing else to the table. We complain she ain't bringing nothing else, but most dudes don't make them bring anything else. I don't care who the woman is. She look at every little thing on you. Like I always joke, a woman will suck your dick off your shoes. They will, because they looking at that. They look at all that. So as long as you deal with all of that, you're good to go. So stop tripping over it. And I know somebody, I'm going to do this video again in a month or so, because dudes, instead of really working on themselves, they want to feel sorry for themselves and have an excuse not to approach women. They'll say, well, I'm ugly, or I don't have money. And all that shit is a motherfucking excuse. That's a motherfucking excuse. Because you really don't know. You'd be surprised. Seriously, that's the one thing I found in life, man. You get those real beautiful women. And I'm going to tell you what. In fact, shoot, I got a couple things I need to do with this next one. I got a couple things. Hell, shit. I'm going to do something on that, too. All right? I'm going to do my next couple videos on that. Anyway, right? I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.